the the founder is has the same last name as me. Um, he is from Taiwan and China, and this management team has been pretty successful for the past couple.
Um,
Yeah. They have their competitive advantages are that they release new chips faster, like 3 times faster than the average other companies. And they focus on one architecture with a 7-year head start in GPU based approach to deep learning. And the company controls about 80% of the GPU market. And these are the predictions. It will hit like on the left, you can see how much money it will grow each year. And right now the current price is about $400, but in 10 years it'll grow to be 2,000. So you should buy it. Yeah.
okay, thank you so much for this presentation, Valencia. Of course, you might, of course, like maybe you did a little bit extra because you only needed to like for 10 good companies, find only one like fluctuation percentage for one company. But that was really great. That was a really great presentation, and it's it's amazing that you did so much extra work. Of course, you only needed to just do a Google document or write some stuff. But thank you for your presentation. Um, so does anyone want to share next? And also, if you have a long presentation, since we also have a lot of material to cover today, if you have a slightly longer presentation, can you like skim through a little bit of it? Thank you. But as I said before, that's like amazing that you did so much, Valencia.
I have a pretty quick presentation.
Okay.
It's only like 6 slides.
Oh, okay. You can share your screen.
So this one, these are the 10 companies I chose: Tesla, Microsoft, Monster, McDonald's, Wells Fargo, Google Alphabet, A, Class C, sorry, Apple, Visa, Booking Holdings, and Domino's Pizza. The stock I would choose would be Booking.com because the ROI is 27%, the ROE is 260%, and then the perf year to date is 52%. The profit margin is 23%. The EPS this year is 171%, and the SMA 217%. This is a fluctuation percentage, and it's 101%. These are my references, and yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Chloe, and thank you for your presentation. That was really great. Does anyone else have does anyone else want to share? Or else I'll call you guys. Also, I have to write down who already did the presentation. Okay. I'll start calling. Isabella, can you share your presentation, your homework, and just skim through it, cause
Okay. I didn't do a whole lot. There's like So first I had Costco, and then second Tesla, third Netflix, fourth Microsoft, fifth McDonald's, sixth Procter and Gamble, and then Hershey's for seventh, eighth Lululemon, ninth Google, 10th FedEx, and 11th is NVIDIA. And I chose Costco because it is relatively stable and will stay steady as long as there's like people wanting sales, which is probably something that'll stay for a while. I also go to Costco, so it connects to me, which is why I kind of picked it. This stock also gets you to earn a lot of money. It's like 500, a 70, 60 or something right now. And the graph on Yahoo Finance or something shows a pretty steady rates of Costco's growth too. Although I think we kind of already passed the highest point this year. For the fluctuation percentages, in 2023 it was 27.5%, and the high was 571. The low was 447. In 2022, the high was 608, the low was 416, and the fluctuation percentage was 46%. And in 2021, the high was 568, the low was 311, and the fluctuation price was 82.6%. And there's not a lot to show, but this is my homework.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's really good, Isabella. Thank you so much for sharing. Okay. By the way, is this someone named Donnie here? Is that like your real name?
Oh yeah.
Do you want to share your homework, or did you do it? Because I think this, right?
I did it, and I'm pretty sure I submitted it into the Google Classroom.
Okay.
I can just screen share and show it now, I guess.
Okay. Can you like?
Okay. Okay. Well, this is my homework. For my 10 companies around me, I picked Tesla, Apple, CVS, Nvidia, Logitech, Nike, Adidas, Costco, Tencent, and Nintendo. And I chose Nvidia as my stock because they're one of the largest distributors of computer graphic cards and GPUs. So, but the main reason why I chose Nvidia is because it's a really good product that I use myself, and the products are like they're really good, like they're really good, yeah. But they're pretty expensive, and there is a slight upcharge compared to some of the other distributors. However, I think they're like, for me, I think they're the best. So I think it's fair for them to pick their price. In 2023, as of 3 days ago, the stock price, the highest was 493.55, and the lowest was $148. So its fluctuation was 232.1%. In 2022, the highest price was $277, and the lowest price was $112. So its fluctuation was 147%. And in 2021, the stock's highest price was $330, and its lowest price was $125. Its fluctuation was 164%. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Donnie, for sharing. That was an excellent response. So you know what? Does anyone want to share their presentation? If not, can you like post it in Google Classroom? Because we might be running out of time and I still have more materials to cover.
I forgot to make a slide.
You don't have to make a slide. You can either write it down, like, or you can like put it on a Google document or a slide.
I don't have a Google Drive.
Okay, then you don't need to do it.
Okay.
Well, you probably should do it for like the best results, but like, well, at least can you write it down and type it in like Google document? No, can you write it down and type it in the Google Class? Oh, I don't have Google. Nah, never
Well,
mind.
I chose Tesla.
So great. Now let's move on. Oh wait, yeah, I forgot to share screen. Okay. So thank you all for sharing or doing your homework. If you did it. So now let's continue on to the questions. So according to Peter Lynch, what is the best place to look for the 10 bagger? Chloe?
And like place stocks around you.
Yeah, great, great, Chloe. Also, I'm just gonna like record. I'm just gonna do this game today. Where you get points if you answer a question answered right. Okay. So according to Peter Lynch, the best place to look for the 10 bagger is actually just around you, like in your homes, where you work, if you work in your schools, and like basically where you live. And you can find a lot of good companies that make good products. Of course, you can also research like some companies, but the best place to look for a 10 bagger is just around you. So, question number 2, why didn't most doctors like in this book buy Osa stock, which is a medical company? And why didn't most oilmen buy Schlumberger stock, which is an oil company? So the book like stated an example here in chapter 6. Did you guys read that example?
I read it, but I kind of forgot.
Okay. Well, I'll give you 1 minute or a few minutes to read that example. It's on page 97, by the way. 97 to 98. Well, the answer is on 98. Okay, so have you guys finished reading the example? Do you need a few more seconds?
I have 1 more minute.
Okay, I'll count to 30. Okay, are you guys done now? Isabella?
So in the book, the author said that most doctors didn't buy ulcers because they had an edge. So basically, they knew which drugs to like medical medicines to buy because they were the actual doctors. Um, and so they didn't buy ulcers because they knew it was like bad or something. So and also for the same thing for the oilman and slumberger stock. So what I learned from these examples is the people with like all the information, like the edge, the true experts, are in a better position to like outguess the person without an edge. Like the people in the stocks that don't have a major in these um what is it called in these subjects. Yeah.
Good, Isabella. So basically, I think the example was like back then, Osa stock and Schlumberger stocks were like pretty good stocks. Well, yeah, sometimes they went up, sometimes they went down. But the text stated that well, this is just kind of like a psychology, that some people they don't even buy or like look at stocks in their own field. Like maybe if they're a banker, they don't look at banks, like the stocks of banks in their own fields, because a winning investment seems like really unlikely that most people can only imagine it happening as far away as possible. So I think you can remember from this example is that you should look more, like if you know something about a field, you should look more at the companies in that field and invest in them than maybe in other fields, because you have an edge. The person with the edge is always in a position to like outguess the person without an edge. Because if you're in an industry, you can always like learn about the company, like if it's gonna have like positive gains or negative gain or like negative losses or anything before like somebody who's in another industry. Because if you're in an industry, you will be one of the first to learn of important changes in your industry. Okay, let's move on to the questions for chapter 7. So if you're considering a stock on the strength of some specific products that the company makes, what is the first thing to find out? Chloe?
Is this like an open question?
Yeah, this is an open question.
Okay, so I would find out like maybe first I would find out the fundamentals, or maybe I would find more about the company so I have a better understanding of what the company does and makes.
Yeah, great, Chloe. Since this is kind of an open question, of course, maybe like some of the answers are better than others. Like, of course, like the correct answer isn't like going to McDonald's and buying a soda or something, but like, well, not really. But like, does anyone else have an answer? Okay. So if you're considering a stock on the strength of like one specific product or maybe a few specific products that the company makes, the first thing to find out is how much of the product, like what percentage of the company does the product take up of? Like what percentage of the earnings of a company does the product make up? Because if a company like makes a lot of different things, like medicine, for example, and you're looking at a specific type of medicine that the company makes, you first have to find out like if how much the company makes of that product. Like if maybe the product is successful, but the company doesn't make a lot of the product of that product. Maybe it focuses on another product. Then you have to find out like what part of the company does this is like dedicated to making and selling that product. So if it will have a really high gain to the company, how much actually will like what percentage will it actually be? Does anyone have any questions so far? It's okay if you have any questions. Sometimes I don't really explain things that clearly, or maybe you need me to repeat something. Okay. So question number 2, Peter Lynch places a company into one of 6 categories, 6 main categories. So what categories are they? You can just blurt it out or type it in the chat.
Is it like the stock type of stock category?
The stock category?
Like a turnaround stock.
Yeah, it's the stock categories. Like there's a lot of different stock categories. I'll give you a few hands like slow growers, turnarounds, etc. Alicia?
There's cyclicals, stalwarts, slow growers, fast growers, and asset plays.
Yeah, great, Alicia. So mainly there are 6 categories. There are slow growers, stalwarts, fast growers, cyclicals, turnarounds, and asset base. Great. Okay, here is kind of like a case study. So what's the GNP rate, the gross national product rate of the USA in 2022 compared to 2021? So you guys can go onto Google and search it up. Okay, does anyone have an answer yet to the GNP rate of the USA in 2022?
I searched it up and it says the GNP rate for 2022 was 25,454. Wait, yeah, 25,454.40 billion, and the from 2021 was 23,539.92 billion.
Great.
Oh.
Yeah, great, Valencia. So that's the exact answer. So you can see it has around like an 8% increase from 2021. Okay, yeah. So what's the compound annual growth rate of the GNP from 2018 to 2021? So basically how you calculate it is by adding the GNP rates of like 2022, 2021, 2020, and 2019, and oh no, not adding, multiplying.
According to globaldata.com, between 2018 through 2021, the indicator recorded an increase of 9.4%.
Okay, that works too. Wow, an increase of 9.4. Like the I mean like the compound annual growth rate, like for every year. You know, you guys can just search that up.
Oh, I found it from 2019, it was a 4.69 increase, and to 2020 was a 1.29% increase. And from 2020 to 2021 was a 9.83%.
Okay. Well, that's great, Lancia. So you know what? I'll just like share this. So basically, this shows of the GNP rates, and like you see the increases, right? So how do you calculate the compound annual growth rate? Is like multiplying like the increased percentages, multiplying the percentages, and then you get 1.2593 or about it, right? Or about like that number. Like this is an estimate. Since there's like a formula for the compound annual growth rate. So that's like, since like the compound annual growth rate is basically like like a rate to the power of 4. So then you can get this equation when you solve for that at 0.0593, which is about 5.93%. Oliver, do you have a question?
It says that 2020 was a 1.29% decline, but when you multiply the numbers, 2020 was a 1.29% increase. Like since 2020 was a 1.29% decline, you should multiply by a number less than 1. But there's not a number less than 1.
Oh yeah. Sorry, that was a typo. Just forget that. It's about that. So based on the answer of question 4, what's your estimate of the annual growth rate of the slow growers? Pretend that's like, yeah. Thank you, Oliver, for pointing that out. So pretend this is the GNP rate of like the annual compound GNP rate, okay? So based on the answers of question 4, what's the estimate of the annual growth rate of the slow growers? Chloe?
I think it's 7% or below.
Yeah, great, Chloe. So actually, slow growers actually, like the annual growth rate of the average slow grower is about the GNP rate of like the compound annual GNP rate. So for the average slow grower, it's about maybe, I think the actual compound GNP rate is like about like 4 or something, right? Yeah. Yeah, so this like the compound annual growth rate of the slow growers would be about like the GNP rate. So question number 6, what is like some characteristics of the slow growers? So in case you don't remember the exact characteristics or anything, like in case you don't remember, you can look back on the text. Chloe?
They used to be big booming companies, and then they started to go down and become a slow growing slow company.
Yeah, great. So good, Chloe. So some characteristics of the slow growers are like the growth rate is close to the growth rate of like the GNP, as I said before. So it's like usually like 3 to 6%, and it pays a generous and regular like dividend. So While its actual gain may be like pretty flat, it plays like a pretty big dividend rate, like maybe like to make up for its growth rate. So it's like the average dividend rate is like 2 to 4 or 5 maybe percent. So in which industries can you find the slow growers now? Does anyone know? Livia?
An industry that you could find a slow grower is like electric utilities.
Yeah, Livia, that's excellent. So does anyone else have another industry? Because there's quite a few industries you can find, like where you can find the slow growers.
Houston.
Okay, so
I'm not so sure about this, but maybe technology industry.
slow growers? I mean, there might be a few companies that are slow growers, but usually the technology industry is like a really like a pretty big growth industry right now. Isabella?
I feel like maybe like grocery stores or something, like Walmart or something.
Yeah, maybe Isabella. So some industries, and I'm talking about slow growers, like 3% each year. Some slow growers are like electric utilities, cars, aluminum companies, railroads, steels, chemicals, etc. And you might like be asking like why I said cars. Because Tesla is like a really fast grower, but it's technically kind of a car company, right? Well, Tesla is more of like Tesla can also be kind of like a technology company. It's a technology company. It's also like a consumer like luxury slash product company. So it's not exactly a car company. Plus, there's also like it includes SpaceX and other stuff and other companies. Um, Elon Musk has. Um, So can you just look at the back of the passage and find a few of the company, like a few companies in the slow growers category? And don't worry, the book listed some of them, I think, so you can find them. Or like some companies you think are slow growers.
Alco,
Alco?
ALCOA.
Alico?
Yeah, that.
Wait, do you mean Alico or another company? Okay. Well, some industries or like some companies like Philip Morris International, which only which like um doesn't very doesn't like increase much, but it has a dividend yield of about 5.5%. So it's like it can be put in the slow growers category. It's a company that doesn't grow much but has a really high dividend rate. So and this is an open question, okay? So personally, would you add slow growers to your portfolio? So why not? Isabella?
Slow growers are like more reliable, so I'd add a few in my portfolio for stableness.
Yeah, great, Isabella. Chloe?
Same. Also, since slow growers have usually a high dividend yield, so I'm gonna add to my portfolio because divided yet. And if there's like a recession coming, slow growers are usually like can help out. It like won't really go down that much, and maybe can make you a little money.
Yeah, great, Chloe. By the way, do you guys know the difference between slow growers and stalwarts? No, it's just like you guys didn't say anything wrong, but do you guys know the difference between slow growers and stalwarts? So stalwarts,
Aren't like Star Wars like a bit faster than slower?
yeah. Stalwarts are like 10 to 12%. Like maybe an average. Well, no, not an average, but like just like 10 to 12%, while slow growers are like 3 to 5%. So a lot of companies, like big companies, or some like companies like Verizon, are classified in the stalwart category, while there's only like maybe a few in the slow growers category that are pretty famous. Right now, that is, stalwarts usually are pretty good in like a recession or something. Well, some stalwarts are good in the recession, like Coca-Cola or like Hershey's, Bristol Myers. Of course, some stalwarts right now, like Verizon, aren't very good in recession, but some like Coca-Cola and stuff, those are like stalwarts. They have about 10% returns each year, and they're very good in the recession because a lot of people won't stop buying Coca-Cola or like maybe like chocolate or anything, even if they're in a recession, because it's just like food. It's like consumer staples kind of. So usually stalwarts are pretty good in recessions. Yeah. So question number 10, I'm just gonna skim through these questions for now because we have some more valuable content later. So what's a characteristic of the stalwarts? Well, I already said this actually. Chloe?
Like you said, they earn like 10 to 12% annually.
Yeah, great, Chloe. So I will just skip through these questions because I basically already answered them for you guys. So what's a characteristic of the fast growers? Anybody? A fast grower? Yeah, they're usually like sometimes riskier. They have an average return of 20 to 25%. Great. So can you guys, so question 14, can you guys still find the fast growers like in a still growing industry? Livia?
Yeah, you can. Cause like they don't like say there's this clothing company in the electricity industry, yeah. It could be like really cool and grow really fast. Also, if like when you say dividends, it's dividends.
Oh, okay. Really? Okay, cool. Thanks for notifying me. So you can still find fast growers in the slow growing industry. Even though like a lot of fast growers will be in pretty fast growing industries, but some you can still find fast growers in the slow growing industry. Like in most cases, it's like a company that takes up most of the industry. So question 15, when you look for a fast grower, what do you pay attention to? Do any of you guys know? What? Sorry, I didn't really hear you. Maybe my internet connection was bad.
He said profit.
Oh. Well, yeah, you can, when you look for a fast grower, sometimes you like pay attention to its like profit. Sometimes like if it has a moat, some other like indicators and stuff. Question 15. 15? Okay, question 16. What is a cyclical company? Chloe?
A cycle company has a huge fluctuation rate. It will sometimes go really high and drop really low. One example from the book is Ford.
Yeah, a cyclical company is like a company where it's pretty predictable. Like it goes up and down at like sometimes even regularly and predictably. Like you can predict when it's gonna go up and down. So I'll just skip to question 18 or 19. When you're looking for a cyclical company, what is the important thing to consider? Like when you're like looking at when you're buying a cyclical company that goes up and down, what is an important thing you need to like be careful of, like to ensure you're making money? Okay, well fine, now I answer that. So when you're looking, like when you're buying a cyclical company, you have to keep in mind that timing is really important in these cyclical companies. Like you have to know like when they're going to go down, and you have to predict it or a little bit, or you see some signs, because timing is really important. Like they go up and down pretty quickly and suddenly. So if you're trying to make money, then you need to consider timing. Okay. So now let's do a David Swenson portfolio review. So here's like a spreadsheet. I'll paste it into chat so you guys get the link, and we'll just like basically look at each portfolio's return, compare it. Maybe some of you can just like share. Okay, can you guys click onto the link? Okay, so can you guys like see this spreadsheet? Okay. So I'll share my screen. So as you can see here, there's like, you can see here like everybody's return. Like, some people have slightly higher returns, maybe some people have slightly lower returns. So after this, can you please like go home and like fill out your balance for September? Right now you don't have to, but like when you go home, well, not when you go home, after this meeting, or if you have time until next meeting, can you please fill this out? Thank you. You can just like fill out like last Friday's return. Okay, now let's. So now here's another like pretty quick homework. In the last homework, like part one was that you chose 10 companies, classified all the stocks into 6 categories, figured, well, no. In the last homework, you have chosen 10 companies. So Peter Lynch, he classified like the stocks into 6 categories: slow growers, stalwarts, fast growers, cyclicals, turnarounds, and asset plays. So can you like figure out what categories those 10 companies you chose belong to? And so note that some companies may belong to 2 or more categories. So like maybe some companies are like both slow growers and cyclicals, or like fast growers, maybe, etc. Who's in the chat? Okay. So in the last homework, you also chose like 10 companies and calculated your fluctuation rates, right? So based on the fluctuation formula I said yesterday, that's like the max price and the the max price minus the minimum price divided by the minimum price. This calculates like how the highest price is higher than its lower price by like how much of its lowest price. So if it's like 50%, then you calculated how much like then that means that the highest price is higher than its lowest price by 50%. So to better understand the in this formula, it doesn't really tell you that when you buy, for example, a company like Disney, you will gain 50%. It's just because this is just because like nobody can really buy at the lowest price because you normally can't predict like its lowest price and then sell at its highest price. So to better understand the fluctuation, now we can change the formula to the maximum price minus the minimum price divided by the maximum price for your 10 stocks or your 1 stock. So in this way, the result tells us what percentage a stock might drop, like how much a stock dropped. So you can see that if you bought a stock at the highest price, like if you were really unlucky or something, and you sold it at its lowest price, how much you would lose. For like some extra credit, there is a clever way to calculate the results like really quickly by looking at the relationship between the 2 formulas, this one and this one, and using the results in the previous homework. So for extra credit, you can like try to find it, but like the main part of the homework is just these 2 parts, to figure out what categories those companies belong to, and to calculate the fluctuation using this new formula. Okay, so does anyone have any questions, or do you need me to repeat a slide? Okay, so that's basically all for today. Thank you for your time and see you next meeting.
Bye.
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 Thank you.
I
Thank you.